Hey guys, it's Pete. I want to talk about Overprime. What is it? Should you play it? Is it still peer-to-peer connected, or does it have servers now? All that jazz. For the uninitiated, Overprime is one of the leading Paragon remake projects. It's made by Team Soleve in South Korea. I hadn't played it in a while, and I wanted to make sure I was up to date on the client and the gameplay, and Predecessor servers are off right now, so I updated and I gave it a spin. So here's a video on what it's like to log in and lose a game of Overprime. In the last month, Overprime has undergone 3 big upgrades. 1, they updated the menu. The new menu makes the path to getting into a server-based game a lot more obvious by making server games the default. Number 2, the game has been upgraded from peer-to-peer connection only to having a server option. Servers really improved the overall gameplay experience by decreasing my ping by 50 to 80% in some games. Big change number 3 was adding Monolith as a map option. I'm not sure what impact this extra map is going to have on queue times, but it's there. Speaking of queues, as far as I can see, there are 5 queues. There's peer-to-peer connection quick play, and then for servers, there's Monolith Casual, Monolith Ranked, Legacy Casual, and Legacy Ranked. I queued for this game midday on a Monday on the North American server, and my queue time was just shy of 12 minutes. Your mileage may vary, but that's pretty great all things considered. Character selection is still a little unclear. There isn't really a pick order or a lane indicator of where you want to go. Everyone just kind of picks a character and locks in. I've had a few rounds where 3 people instantly lock in as carry, making for a fun time. This game, my team had some good communication, so we had a pretty good team comp. Oh, and here's one little thing that I'd be fine with changing. Every time your character spawns in at base, the store opens. Game starts, store opens. You recall to base, store opens. You die, and then shop while you're dead and respawn ready to run straight back to the fight, store opens. Maybe I'm missing a setting, but I feel like this shouldn't be the default. Anyway, back to the game. Welcome back to Monolith. It's just as you left it, assuming you were one of the people who stuck around through New Dawn. Farming has a nice mix between late Monolith minion execution mechanic and normal MOBA farming. The minion health bar turns red when you can kill it with a single auto attack. This is a feature all other remake teams should really consider stealing. I'm a big fan of it. It makes that early game minion farming experience a little bit better without hand-holding as much as the full-on minion execution mechanic did from New Dawn. A few other things I really like: the items and parts of the item store. There's a huge variety of items with completed high-quality card art. Some of the actives on the items are really cool. The store has a lot of features for item filtering to find what you're looking for, although it's almost a little too filter and information dense with all the bars on the right and all the filters on the left. All items sell back for a full refund of their price, so you can optimize your build each time you back, just like in the original Paragon card system. Neat. Hit registration is pretty good. I never felt like I was getting robbed of my attacks, and everything felt like it was connecting the way that it should. Orb dunking is back, but instead of getting a buff, you summon the Overprime monster in lane to push down lane with you. It's an interesting concept. We'll see how it works out long term. The ping system has been copied more or less straight from Paragon, just like the other Parazombies. It's appreciated and almost expected for these games at this point. Oh, and it's just really great to play on Monolith and Legacy again, so thanks Soleve for giving us a chance to feed on these maps again. It's been really fun. Alright, let's move on to the bad. There are some minor polish and quality of life things that should probably change. I've already mentioned the store opening every time you go back to base. The store also opens with the same button as the button that you hold to level up an ability. That means you have to leave base to level up an ability, or you'll accidentally open the opaque store. Minor thing, but that probably shouldn't be the default. Camera angles sometimes do wonky things when you respawn. And then there are the bugs. I noticed a few spots on the map that have geometry problems. I noticed weird lips on the ground where my character would get really slow for a second when passing over them. and a few places where there are invisible walls that extend farther than the visual part of what the map indicates. I think this is another geometry bug where I try to drop a max range bomb on Murdoch, and for some reason it decides to blow up on the platform next to me instead. And here's some really weird minion behavior. I'm not sure what to make of it. Geometry, minion pathing AI, something. And at one point I spawned in and my directional inputs were totally messed up. Inputs stopped changing relative to the camera direction. I kind of struggled to walk around for a bit until I was killed, and then the issue vanished on respawn. So that's Overprime in a nutshell. It feels like a decent early approximation of Paragon. It's pretty fun to play, even if the character selection process is a little dicey and there are some bugs here and there. Fights have that Paragon vibe, and I definitely felt like I was playing Bellica on Monolith again during this game. So should you play Overprime? Definitely. It's free. If you want to download it, I'll put a link for that in the video description. It's easy to install, it's even easier to update. And really, it feels a lot like Paragon, albeit with some rough edges.